What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Xman & Co. Today we're making butternut sweet potato lamb stew. It's going to be brilliant. We're doing it on a plowshare shear. Is that correct? Plowshare shear. Anyways, it's a ploegskaar in Afrikaans, and most of you guys in South Africa should know what that is. Guys outside South Africa, we're going to show you. Guys, lamb stew is one of those very rich, mature, full of flavor dishes that you want to share with your friends and family. So today we're making a beautiful dish here with lots of beautiful ingredients. Let me show you exactly what we're going to use for that today. As always guys, all the items here will be listed in the description below for you guys to go check out when you have a gap. We've got some garlic chives, some rosemary. Now guys, over here, optional, we've got a tangerine skin. It's dried out, we've done it ourselves. Very easy to do at home. Basically, you need a glass jar, throw your tangerine skins in there, put like gauze over it just to make sure no insects go in there, and airflow, that's all you need. This brings great flavor. You're going to see in a bit. We've got some butter, sweet potato, we've washed it, so you don't need to remove the skin. Lots of nutrients in the skin. We've got some spring onions over here, butternut, a few spices, just to mention a few. We have some mustard seeds, some cayenne pepper, paprika, barbecue spice, and then guys, the star of the show, beautiful lamb knuckles. Some of you might know it as lamb shanks, and then a French loaf. Let's get this cook on the road. So let's get all our ingredients ready, like the onions, the sweet potato, all of those. Let's do that. So we're going to start with all our ingredients to slice it up. First, what we're going to do is slice up all our onions. We're using 2 big white onions. We want to go for the coarse, chunky bits, so we're not going to slice it up too thin. It's a chunky stew, it's going to be beautiful. Remember, a lot of these ingredients might even cook away, so we want to make sure that we have a little bit left at the end. Then we're moving over to the sweet potato. Same thing, not too big, not too small. We're just going to cut that up. We've washed this sweet potato already, so we're not going to remove the skin. We might cut a few pieces off, and you can do the same. There's so much nutrition in the skin, so it's entirely up to you. We're moving over to the garlic chives now. We're just going to cut it in 4 or 5 pieces, medium size. Then we're moving over to our spring onion. Our spring onion, we're going to chop right from the beginning, just take off the ends, work our way right through to almost the end. Our butternut's already been cut up. I do have a video though, if you want to go check it out, how to safely open up a huge 1 full butternut. So please do go check that out. Otherwise, it's been chopped up already, so we're not going to waste any time further on that. And now we're going over to the meat. The meat we want to cut in about 2 centimeter pieces. You can go smaller, bigger, whatever works for you. It also depends what cut you have with you. We're going to also cut it between the bones. I've asked my butcher to cut the bones already, so we're just going to work our way through that. Another thing to note, we do have bones. We're going to take the meat off the bones. These bones are going to contribute so much to this dish. It's got so much flavor, so we're definitely going to add them. We want to make sure that we've got a rich and flavorful thick sauce at the end with our stew. So we're going to add some flour to this meat. So you just want to take your meat, roll it in that. You can add salt and pepper to the flour as well. It's entirely up to you. We're just going to make sure it's nicely covered with the flour, and then we're going to the fire. So what you want to do with your meat, you want to just brown it properly. Make sure it's nice and brown. It's going to take about 5 minutes. If you need to add a little bit more oil, you are more than welcome to do that. Remember, the flour is really thickening the sauce, and it'll do the same with the oil, so it might absorb a little bit of that oil, regardless of the fact that the lamb cutlets are a bit fatty or not. Once you've done that, once it's nice and brown, remove it from the fire. Our next step's going to be adding our onions. Before we can add the onions, we're just going to put some more oil in there. We're using olive oil. Then we want to brown the onions. You don't want to completely cook the onions, you just want to brown it a bit. Next up is all your spices. Some paprika, some cayenne pepper, some cumin powder, mustard seed, and some thyme. Now that our onions are browned, it's time to add our meat. You need to mix your meat and your onion quite a bit. We've added some spices, we want that to be thoroughly mixed. Then it's time for some fluids. Let's add some red wine. You guys can add whatever you want, water. For now, we're just going to stick to the red wine. You want to almost cover your meat with the water or the liquids of your choice. Thereafter, it's time to add our rosemary. Also a good time to throw in all those garlic chives. Next, we want to break in this tangerine skin, the dried one. It's going to be beautiful. We're just going to let this dish simmer for about hour 20, and just infuse and take all those flavors in. Right guys, it's been an hour and 10 minutes. We're ready for the next step in this dish. We're going to add the spring onions, then we're going to add the sweet potato, and then we're going to add the butternut. Now you want to stir everything together. If you need to add a little bit of liquid, it needs to be slightly just under covered, and then we're good to go for another, let's say 30 minutes. We're going to check back onto it. Just a pro tip on the right, you can see at the back there we've got a fire going, so you would always need to regulate the fire. So we just make a fire on the side, and if we need more coals we can just add it at any time. Guys, it's another 30 minutes, basically total time about 1 hour 40. We want to introduce a slight sweety taste to this lamb, so we're going to add a little bit of Mrs. Ball's chutney. You're welcome to use any chicken, sweetie, barbecue sauce, whatever works for you. Sometimes if you use a lot of salt, you want to add a little bit of sweetness to it, just to balance it out. At this point, the meat is nice and soft. Also, our vegetables are quite soft as well. We do sometimes like them a little bit more to the crunchy side. So at this stage, you want to take away your high heat, if you do have any high heat left. Then it's time to move on to the final step. Butternut sweet potato lamb stew. Guys, that's what we got here in front of us. It's been a beautiful journey. It's so easy to make. We had this French loaf cuts on the outside for about 10 minutes. And now, boys and girls, it's time to taste it. Everything's nice and soft. I don't know if you guys can see, but it just breaks away. Look there. That's beautiful. So let's take a bite out of this. Let's take one of these guys. Just dip it in that sauce. There you go. That's piping hot. Boys and girls, cheers. What was I saying? This is beautiful. Wow. You get the sweetness. This almost tastes like oxtail, so nice it is. Guys, this lamb stew is honestly amazing. Go try it out for yourself. You guys should try this. This is wow. Boys and girls, you know the story. If you like what we're doing, like, share, subscribe. Enable those notifications so you get notified as soon as we upload new video. Thanks for watching. We cannot do it without you. We'll see you on the next one. Truly amazing stuff. Try it out. Beautiful.